doing, Coach? Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, we're joined in the interview room by Gonzaga head coach Mark Few. Coach, welcome to Las Vegas. Maybe opening comment about the game tomorrow night.
Obviously, quick turnaround for us. Man, we got home at like 3 a.m. Monday morning. So, but excited as heck, to have another week with the guys and be involved in another Sweet 16. And obviously, we've got a lot of experience playing here at T-Mobile, even against UCLA, and it's going to be a great environment tomorrow night. And we know we're in for a huge challenge of just their experience and their toughness and their kind of general will to win. But looking forward to it.
Steve.
Hi, Mark. Steve Karp with the Sporting Tribune. 15 years ago, the WCC and Mike Gilliran took a shot on Vegas by moving the tournament to New Orleans. How much credit should the WCC and Gonzaga, given its success, 12 wins in the 15 and 3 runner-ups, how much credit should you guys take for having this regional here in Las Vegas?
We don't take any credit for it, but we were back then, you remember this, we were pushing hard just for a neutral site of any kind. We used to play our conference tournament at a predetermined site. Most of the time it was never even at the number one. So when we first started our run, we had to go basically play a road game to qualify for this tournament. And so I give Commissioner Gilliran and then at the time leadership at Gonzaga, Mike Roth and our president for pushing that through, and it ended up being a brilliant move. And we've been here, I don't know how long, what is it, 15 years you said? And then, like, I know you guys were here and felt this, but like this year especially, it's the place to be now in conference tournament week. There was just so much energy, and you're walking down the street and there's WCC teams, there's Pac-12 teams and fans, there's WAC teams, there's Mountain West. It's like a mini little Final Four around here that week of the conference tournament. So it makes for a great, exciting environment to bring your teams down to.
Over here.
Dennis Patchen with KHQ SWX. Mark, can you talk about the significance of 8 straight Sweet 16s on what it means for your program and the university itself?
I think it's one of the greatest, probably 1A and 1B, the Sweet 16 run and the of 8 years, and then making it 25 years straight is probably the thing I'm most proud about. What all our teams have been able to accomplish. It means we've stayed relevant. We haven't dropped off. We haven't taken a year in the NIT or a couple years in the NIT. We haven't lost the first round. I just, again, the guys deserve all the credit for just maintaining that kind of winning DNA and just figuring it out. As you know, you followed us all year. This year, it's, this probably wasn't looking realistic there way back in November, early December.
All right, right down front.
Connor Morissette, Sports Illustrated Media Group. Coach, when you look at the teams in the Sweet 16, 11 different conferences are represented. What does that tell you about college basketball, and do you think basketball-wise it's still as important as it used to be in a big conference?
I think it just tells you there's a lot of really, really good teams out there. And I think with everything that's going on, from really, really good players leaving early to, this COVID year stuff where it seems like 27-year-olds are playing now. It definitely, everything's kind of shrinking to the mean. But when you're out there playing these games, you definitely feel it. And you feel how close we all are, and I think that's what makes an accomplishment like these multiple 8-in-a-row Sweet 16s even the more remarkable.
Ed.
Ed Graney, Review Journal. Hey, Mark. Tomorrow's only the 8th time you've played them, but it just seems like with the dramatic endings, it's more than that. Do you buy into the rivalry aspect against these guys? And also, can you believe tomorrow is 17 years to the day from Oakland?
I can't even remember Oakland. I can't even barely remember last week or last year. The interesting thing about this is, Mick and I worked really, really hard all off season a year ago to try to put that game together here, and I thought it ended up being a fabulous environment. And it was 1 versus 2 right after Jalen's shot, and so there's a familiarity with our teams, obviously, back to the 21 Final Four. I mean, you have a lot of not a lot, but Singleton, Hawkwez, and Tiger were obviously in that game and played a lot, at least Hawkwez and Tiger did, and obviously Drew did for us. And then last year, we have many that watching the tape earlier this week. I mean, we had our young guards in that game. We had Anton played a lot in that game. Obviously, Drew was huge. So a lot of the same characters. So it's kind of the act 3 here within kind of a small time frame. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, Dan Walken, USA Today. Mark, coming out of the Baylor championship game in 2021, there might have been a perception about Drew that, hey, you could do this or do that to, shut him down or get him off his game. What's he done, in the last couple years to, sort of stand up to different challenges that people are throwing at him?
I mean, first of all, I know that wasn't your take, but I would just say that's kind of an idiotic take that dude's been posting numbers forever, and they threw everything at the kitchen table at him that night and even fouled the living daylights out of him. And, we just didn't move the ball good enough to make plays and all that. And then Baylor played great. So I don't know why anyone would judge him just based on that. But he's been remarkably consistent his entire career he just delivers. He delivers. And this year, our first 10 or 15 games, we leaned on him as hard as we've ever leaned on anybody. Even in guarantee games, we were in trouble and had to throw him the ball 12 straight times to eke out a 7-point win. And so he's just a highly as fun and charismatic and goofy and everything as he is off the floor. He is an elite level competitor when the ball goes up. And I think sometimes, people focus on these great defenders out there and describe how tough they are. And I would argue you have to be every bit as tough and a little bit tougher to consistently deliver night in and night out when the opponent is trying to stop you with everything they got, double teams, their best defender, fouling, anything. And he's just been able to rise to that occasion time and time again. And if you look throughout his career, what he's accomplished, and one point at the start of our season, he had been ranked number 1 as a player. His team had been ranked number 1 more weeks than he hadn't been, which, that's just nuts. That's like Bill Walton stuff or something, And I think he's going to go down as one of the greatest college players in the modern era here when we're finished.
Hey, Mark. Travis Green, KREM 2 News in Spokane. You kind of said how this is kind of like an act 3 of this matchup. When you look back at the last time you guys played here, you led by 20 at halftime.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about it in the tournament here, kind of the slow starts. How important do you think it is to come out fast in this one?
That was a very, very different game. You'd have to maybe ask Mick about that. I think that was back when they were looking to play really, really fast, maybe. And that was a high tempo, high possession game. And Andrew Nemhart was unbelievable. I think since then they've probably got a little more possession oriented, and again they have the luxury now of kind of being the older, more experienced team. I think that this game will come down to us taking care of the ball. Their defense is elite, and us being able to make plays and find baskets against it, and then us on the flip side, somehow, some way, kind of trying to keep Hawkwez and Tiger, and then now they're getting great play out of Bailey since he's came into the lineup, kind of doing our best to keep those guys in check.
Anything else for Coach Few? Coach, thank you, and good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, you got it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, you bet. All right. We'll be joined shortly by 3 student athletes from Gonzaga. We'll have Malachi Smith, Anton Watson, and Rasir Bolton. Okay, we're joined here by our student athletes from Gonzaga. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We will bring the microphone to you. Down front.
Travis Green, KREM 2 News in Spokane. Question for Malachi and Raj here. I know I've talked to you guys the past 2 weeks. It seems like every matchup is good guards. Again here, this is happening. Maybe another level here. Just what's it like for you guys heading into this matchup, having to D up those guys?
I wouldn't say it's the same as TCU or Grand Canyon, but I think it's kind of the same concept of, we got to do our job and get it done. They definitely got a great backcourt with Tiger and Amari Bailey. They play very hard. They're very smart. They all play together, and they're trying to win. They're tough-minded. So it's definitely going to be another tough matchup, but I think, Coach is getting us right with the scouting. We just got to go out there and execute it.
I think just having the same confidence and mentality in our defense we've been having all year. Like Ross said, they're great players. But we gotta just go out there and just play harder and play team defense.
Okay, down front.
Sports Illustrated Media Group. For anyone who wants to take it, 3-point shooting we see is down this tournament. Have you guys noticed anything different about the balls? Are they overinflated? Anything you can comment on with that?
I think just for the whole landscape, like a lot of the balls that we're using, a lot of teams don't play with it. A couple teams in our conference use it, but there'll be games where like Tuesday we play with one ball and then Thursday play with a different one. So coming to the tournament, some of these teams have never used it, and having to prepare for 2 days with it isn't a lot of time. But I don't know, maybe just the moment or something. I don't know.
I'm going to just go with what you said and blame it on the ball.
In the back.
Brendan Quinn from The Athletic. For Malachi, last year at Chattanooga, when, the way it ended, this year, how many times have you kind of replayed that and maybe envisioned yourself getting another chance in a moment like that, of late in the game and whatnot?
You were there last year. You talked to me and you saw how defeated I was. I used that whole moment for motivation in the off season, and you kind of have to just forget about it. It's in the past now, but coming in just being able to have a different feeling and just going in there super confident, and just the fact we made it this far is it's been a blessing for sure.
Ed, right front.
Ed Green, Review-Journal. You've played them before, so you know what it's like. Tomorrow will only be the 8th time the schools have met. Does that surprise you guys? Is there a rivalry there because of the games I'm sure you've heard about in the past and also the ones you've played them?
Yeah, I would say there's been a rivalry kind of building up for the past couple years, and it's, every time we play them, it's a high-energy game. There's going to be a lot of fans there from both sides, and they really want to beat us, and we want to beat them. So it's going to be a fun game. We know what to expect. It's really just going to be competitive from the start.
Down front right here.
KREM 2 News again. Anton and Raj, it's probably a good question for you guys. The last time you guys played was here a year ago. You guys were up by 20 at halftime. With how these games have been going of late, do you think it's important to get off to a hot start?
Yeah, I would say so. You never want to start off slow. They're a good defensive team, so I think they're going to come out hot and try to pressure us. But last game against TCU, we had a slow start, and it was kind of harder to come back in the second half and build that lead. But yeah, I think getting a good start from the jump, getting stops, and seeing some shots go down is going to be good for us.
I would say the same. I think a good start, definitely helps out as far as team morale and kind of just playing from ahead maybe. But I don't think we expect to be up 20 at half this game. I'm sure it'll be nice, but I'm sure it'll be a hard-fought game. But definitely getting out to a good start will help. But I think it's all about the finish in these games.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin Sweden from Sports Illustrated. This one for Malachi and Rashir. I'm curious, both of you have been at 3 schools now. What about Gonzaga makes it so different and so unique?
I would just say like the competitiveness amongst each other, but like still a family. I mean, like in practice, like having to guard him every day or guard Tan, like that makes you better. There's not a lot of players better than these guys, and just the mentality of winning. Like everybody wants to win at the highest level, and we're not satisfied with just winning 20 games or just making the tournament. And I think just from all the schools I've been at, like winning's been the most important thing here. And everybody wants to win just as badly as the next. So I think that's what's made us so successful.
I would say the same. Really just I came here just for like the family feel. That's why I love it. I love, being a part of this program, what they've done years before me and kind of continuing on their legacy. And like he said, as far as practice and just the competition aspect, I mean, I got to guard him and then guard Nolan and guard Julian and Hunter all day. So I think just from that aspect of talent and kind of what we have on the team, it makes everybody better and we're all competitive. But at the end of the day, we know we're all together and we're trying to win and achieve the same goal.
Any other questions? Thank you, guys, and good luck tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll be back at 3:05 with the student athletes from UCLA. Just as a reminder, Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub. That's www.ncaa.veritone.com. The transcripts will be provided by ASAP. They will be posted shortly. Thank you.